You are not inside the story, you are inside the trance. You are not inside the story, you are inside the forgetting that it's a story. Now listen carefully. When I say you are not inside the story, you are inside the trance, I'm not being poetic. I'm describing a neurological fact. A trance is simply unconscious repetition. A thought appears, I am behind. Another appears, I should be further. Another appears, I'm not enough. You have heard this sentence thousands of times. At some point, you stopped hearing them. You started being them. That is trance. Trance is when narration becomes invisible. You are not trapped in the story. You are hypnotized by familiarity. Now, the second line. You are not inside the story. You are inside the forgetting that it's a story. This is sharper. When a movie is playing and you know it is a movie, you feel emotion, but you are not psychologically captured. The moment you forget it is a movie, your body reacts as if it is real. Nothing changed on the screen, only forgetting happened. Your life narrative works the same way. A thought says, I am incomplete. If you see it as a thought, it is just movement. If you forget it is a thought, it becomes identity. The prison is not the sentence, the prison is the forgetting. Understand this clearly. The story has no power, it has continuity. Continuity feels like truth, repetition feels like self. But repetition is not self, it is conditioning. You ask for the mechanism, here it is. A thought appears, it carries sensation, the body tightens, the mind moves to protect. You do not question it, identity forms. The moment you question it, the trance weakens, not by arguing, but by noticing. The noticing breaks hypnosis. Not effort, not healing, not rewriting, just seeing. Let me ask you something directly. When the thought stops for a moment, when there is silence, do you disappear? No, something remains. That which remains does not need narration. That is not in trance. The trance requires thought. You do not. So, the story is not binding you. Unexamined repetition is. And repetition survives only in the absence of awareness. The moment you see it as narration, the spell cracks. You don't kill the story. You wake up from it. That is all. You ask, what do you mean I'm not inside the story? The story keeps saying me. It feels like me. How is it a ghost? How am I the sky? Let's look at the mechanism. The story is a thought structure. Right now, without imagination, where is the story? Can you touch it? Can you point to its physical location? No. It appears as a sentence in the mind, an image, a memory, a feeling attached to memory. That's all. The story is not continuous. It appears in flashes. A thought arises, I am behind. Then it disappears. Then another arises, I should be more. Then it disappears. Between these two thoughts, were you incomplete? No. There was just presence. The story is not a solid entity. It is intermittent mental narration. That's the ghost. A ghost feels real, but it has no substance. When you say, I'm inside the story, what you actually mean is, I'm identified with the thought. Identification is the mechanism. Let's examine it. A thought appears, you are not enough. Now, two things can happen. The thought appears, and it is just seen. The thought appears, and you unconsciously say, that is me. The second move is the trap. You don't just experience a thought, you become it. That becoming is identification. What does it mean to see the story? Seeing means this. The thought appears, and instead of entering it, you observe it as an object. Not philosophically, directly. For example, your thought says, you are late in life. Instead of arguing, instead of fixing, instead of improving, you simply notice a sentence has appeared, it carries tension, the body reacts, the mind wants to solve it. You watch the entire chain. Now something strange happens. You are no longer in the sentence. You are aware of the sentence. Awareness and object are not the same thing. The sentence is observed. That which observes it cannot be the sentence. That's a mechanism. Why you are not inside the story? Because you can see it. Anything you can observe cannot be you. You can observe thoughts, emotions, sensations, narratives, self-judgments. So they are objects in awareness. You are the field in which they appear. This is not spiritual poetry, it is structural. The movie plays on the screen is not inside the movie is inside the story is inside you. You are not inside the story. But it feels like me, yes, because of repetition. The mind has rehearsed the same narrative thousands of times. I am behind, I am incomplete, I need to become. Repetition creates familiarity, familiarity creates identity, but familiarity is not truth, it is conditioning. What happens when you truly see it? Not intellectually, actually see it. The next time a thought arises, you are not enough, pass. Do not argue, do not suppress, just look at it like a scientist. Watch how it appears, how it creates a contraction, how the body tightens, how the mind wants to act. If you stay as the observer, something becomes obvious. The thought has no core, it is just movement, and without your identification, it dissolves like a cloud in open sky. That's why I say the story is a ghost, you are the sky. The ghost cannot wound the sky, it can only appear in it. The real shift. You think freedom means fixing the story, it doesn't. Freedom means not mistaking the story for yourself. The moment you are not fused with it, its incompleteness cannot infect you. Because infection requires identification. No identification, no psychological suffering. The story may still arise, but it has no owner. Now, let me ask you something quietly. Right now, before the next thought, are you incomplete? Or is incompleteness only appearing as a thought? Sit with that, not to answer me, to see. Now you are asking, when you see the story, you are no longer inside it. The story is the ghost, you are the sky. The sky is not harmed because clouds pass through it. Let's dismantle this slowly. What does inside the story actually mean? You are inside the story when a thought appears, you unconsciously believe it, your nervous system reacts, you start behaving from it. Example, thought, I am behind in life. If you are inside it, your chest tightens, you compare, you feel urgency or shame, you try to fix yourself. Now the thought is running your biology, it has entered your identity. That is infection. The thought has crossed from mental event into psychological reality. That crossing happens only through identification. What does it mean to see the story? Seeing means the thought appears, and instead of merging with it, you notice a sentence has appeared. It carries emotional charge. The body reacts. The mind wants to solve it. You stay as the watcher. Now something subtle happens. The thought is here. You are here. There is space. That space is everything. In that space, the thought cannot define you because you are observing it. The observer is not the observed. This is not philosophy. It is structural. If you can see it, it is not you. Why the story is a ghost? A ghost feels real, but it has no substance. The story feels heavy, it feels solid, it feels like me. But look carefully, where is it? It appears as words, images, memory fragments, sensations. Then it vanishes, then it returns, then it vanishes again. It has no continuous existence. It survives only through attention and belief. Remove belief, it becomes a passing mental event. That is ghost like. It cannot stand on its own. It requires your identification to feel real. Why you are the sky? The sky does not fight clouds. It does not improve clouds. It does not heal clouds. Clouds appear, clouds move, clouds dissolve. The sky remains untouched. Now look at your experience. Thoughts appear, emotions move, memories surge, sensation arise. What is constant? Awareness, the capacity to know experience that has never been harmed, even during heartbreak, even during shame, even during comparison. The content changes, the awareness does not. You are that awareness, not the content. Why incompleteness infects you? Incompleteness is not a fact, it is a thought plus sensation loop. Thought, I am not enough. Body reacts, tightness, contraction. Mind reacts, I need to become. The loop feeds itself. The moment you identify, the loop strengthens. But when you see it as a loop, the infection stops spreading. The thought may still arise, but it does not enter your identity. It becomes weather, not self. The critical insight. Freedom is not the absence of clouds. Freedom is the recognition and not the weather. When you are the weather, every storm feels fatal. When you are the sky, storms are movements. This is why seeing is enough, because seeing creates separation, and separation prevents fusion, and without fusion, the story has no power to define you. Now, let me ask you something simple. Right now, without referring to memory, without referring to future, are you lacking, or does lack only exist as a thought that appears? Don't answer quickly. Look, the difference between thinking and seeing is the difference between prison and freedom. So, you were never inside the story. There was never a cage. There was only a voice, repeated often enough that you stopped questioning it. The trance was not the narrative. The trance was the forgetting that it was narration. A thought said, "This is me," and you nodded. That nod created identity. That identity created struggle. That struggle created the search for freedom. But the cage was vapor. The moment you see the story as a sound, just mental audio, the spell weakens. Not because you fought it, not because you healed it, not because you rewrote it, but because you stopped mistaking it for yourself. The sky was never harmed by clouds. The sky only forget it was sky, and the forgetting was the only illusion.